Never try marijuana, don't try it at all. It's a lie. It's like beating your head on a wall. Say no way, marijuana's a fast way to fall. You will pay, cause it's doing you no good at all. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. Oh. Never try marijuana, don't try it at all. It's a lie. It's like beating your head on a wall. Say no way, marijuana's a fast way to fall. You will pay, cause it's doing you no good at all. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. A lot of people think that marijuana isn't dangerous, but they're wrong. Because not only does it harm a person's body and mind, but it often leads users to try other, even more dangerous drugs. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. And you know, if you gamble with life, you can lose it. Gotta grow, cause your life is a gift, don't abuse it. Oh.
Dun, 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 da, 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 da. Tribute to Grampy Lobster once again. Yeah, this is for Grampy Lobster, dude, up there. You know, looking down, sitting up there, probably with Lemmy and with Ozzy, and yeah, having peeps, marshmallow peeps, all around. Marshmallow peeps for the house. God, I can't tolerate marshmallow peeps. Yuck. Okay, today's live stream is, well, because in light of the current events, recent happenings with Irvy Von Helton, Stinky Von Helton, Grampy Lobster's favorite nemesis. Yeah, some things have been unfolding, and I know there are some people probably watching this that they don't have a clue. John aside, I know you don't know much about Grampy and the relationship with Von Helton, and then John, J-Dubs, we call him John, the Irishman pretending to be Jew. Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, the story has it allegedly, J-Dubs or John Gishala, I don't even know if that's his real last name, fell in love and was being impressionable with a Jewish girl, and so he studied Judaism and got good at it. You know, the guy soaked it up like a sponge because he can quote shit, like a little Orthodox talk, Orthodox conversation stuff goes over my head. And I thought I knew a little bit because, I know observant Jews. But I don't know if I've ever really known orthodoxy like that, but anyway, so what was I getting at? Y Yeah, so anyway, back to my original thought with Grampy Lobster. Grampy was a crusty old guy, um, been around a bit, had some life experiences, had his ups and downs, learned from every damn thing, eventually, he said. Um, so he knew stuff. He knew stuff. He could read people. He paid attention, he listened. And he had Von Helton, Stinky Von Helton, nailed from the beginning. Um, he didn't accuse him, he just revealed, Von Helton's lifestyle. He was guilty of child neglect, and that's not alleged. We saw it, we heard it, um, got his children taken away. CPS was called many times, um, and there was a mom there, mother to the children, but she had her issues being, slow, and, so anyway, the children were removed, the wife, left, and I guess was, 5150, hospitalized for a while, but she's gone forever and ever. The children have been adopted, 3 of them, a set of twins and an older child, um, so that's a done deal. But Vaughn, okay, feces smeared into, vents in the kids' bedrooms, uh, "W we're hungry" written on the wall in feces, trash all over the house, unwashed kids, reports from the school that they came to school with, head lice. So then, Vaughn sent them to school with a head lice remedy on their heads. That oil, that what is it, neat's foot oil or something, like whatever it is. Um, y yeah, so everything was true, but, Vaughn, of course, denied it everything and, said, "Well, my children were taken away simply because of you trolls. My wife left me and because of you trolls. You drove her insane, and that's why she's not with me. It's all because of you trolls. My mother died because of you trolls." When the truth was, and we watched it in real time, uh, Vaughn's mom apparently had a stroke, either fell out of bed or fell getting up or getting it, was on the floor, and he walked by her 3 times, separated by it took, like, all afternoon. He went by her 3 times. Each time, he saw that she was still on the floor, and he altered his story, kept adding to the story each time he told it, but he said he thought she was on the floor taking a nap. She had pillows and blankets down there, he just thought she was on the floor taking a nap, and 3 times he saw her on and then eventually and now it's that he called the ambulance. I'm not so certain of that. I thought I originally heard that a family member that lived nearby called. I'm not sure, but, anyway, she was taken away, and yes, she did ultimately die because, by God, she was having a stroke there on the floor. But Vaughn blamed his trolls for, killing his mom. He never went to the hospital to visit her. He did not go to her funeral or memorial. Yeah, crazy ass guy. So, anyway, now these days, and Grampy nailed all this stuff. We all saw what was happening, but, Grampy called it, and John John, if you're watching this, if you are listening to this, Grampy was right about everything, and I think finally, your little veil of across your vision or your perception or whatever is being thinned out and maybe lifted. You're busting through, buddy. So, um, and the reason I'm hitting hard on you with Grampy Lobster, John, J Dubs, is because, I was in your chat, I've been watching you, and all I did was post a little lobster emoji. I posted a little lobster emoji, and you blocked me. Excuse me. Because I was watching Vaughn, do and be and say everything that Grampy always said Vaughn was and said and did. Posted a little, it's a, all of us, anybody who had been friends with Grampy Lobster, it's like people driving Harleys or people driving Corvettes, you recognize each other, So one guy will post a lobster in a chat, and then here come all the lobsters. Then everybody goes, "Yo, yeah, this is for Grampy." Um, so 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 if anybody else was posting lobsters in your chat, John, and you blocked them, I was sort of impartial, sort of. I think you're kind of slimy. I think you're gross, John. I kind of, think you're a pig. But, dang, I was feeling bad for you because, you were so, Vaughn was just, Mr. Leach taking advantage of you and pretending like he didn't have any money. So anyway, folks who are watching, I'm sitting here having a conversation with J Dubs. Um, yeah, okay. Vaughn ultimately, couldn't pay the taxes after his mother died. He somebody bought a, a lien or something because due to the taxes, and then uh, there was a tenant on the property, and then his family member said, "Hey, my family can help you buy the liens and, help pay the taxes." So anyway, ultimately, Vaughn wound up not owning the property anymore. The guy isn't the brightest bulb. Well, he's barely got the intellect of a 2-year-old, who likes to hide all the cookies. He's smart enough for that. He's been hiding money from J Dubs. But so anyway, Vaughn, who had been John's internet friend for quite some time, John would sympathize with Vaughn, encourage him. And so when Vaughn was being asked to leave the property that he no longer owned, he says, "Here I come, John." And then John said, "Hey, hey, 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 I'm living in my car. You know, you come here, you take your chances." And Stinky said, "Well, I'm coming anyway. I don't have any place else to go. Here I come." So Stinky drove from Kentucky to New Jersey. And there he's been for the past more than a month. Um, yeah. So heck, I'm out here on my own, you guys. Prairie Queen um, is missing in action. She's not backstage. I sent her the link. Um, we texted yesterday, messaged yesterday, first thing this morning, and I sent her the link, but she's not backstage. Every once in a while, she'll have connection problems because she's out there in the middle of the prairie, hence her name. Um, but yeah, I hope she's okay, Prairie, if you're watching. Uh, hope everything's okay in your parts. Yeah, yeah. Hope. Well, okay, that's private. I don't need to address that. So anyway, the latest happening is okay. So here's Vaughn. Um, they spend daytimes. Sometimes they're free going online and wanting money. They go online. John buys Vaughn fast food and chicken and tacos and stuff, and uh, it okay, I'm going up. So I'm I'm over here in the chat. Okay, I'm I'm addressing the chat because now I'm being distracted. Jonacide, first up. Hi, thanks for showing up. Good to see you. Oh, Mrs. Muddock, hi. You're you're at work listening. Well, thanks for being listening. Don't get caught. Yeah, listen on the down low. Swampy 63, your name is such a pun. Good, good. Okay, so Mrs. Muddock, you watched one of his videos about 3 months ago. Oh boy, it has gotten so good. It has gotten so good. Okay, Mrs. Muddock, so he went Jewish for a woman. Okay, that's for what I understand. There are people much more, learned about the lore of J-dubs than I, but in fact, I think even J-dubs had mentioned it. But, and now he's really just head over heels in love with Salamanta, and he's got this photoshopped picture of himself all dressed up, with the payas and the looking all Jewish, and a picture of her. He photoshopped them as a couple, but that is the only picture I've seen of her. Okay, anybody who knows the John and Salamanta story, is she real? He can't stop thinking about her. She is in his head day and night. He's cried over her. He's been journaling about her. But she's over in Botswana or someplace like that. He never really said that she was out visiting New Jersey. He has never really said that. He said that, she professed her love for him. But then as it turns out, she's really married. But I guess she was being, having all sexy time with him, over the internet. Does anybody know for sure, have they met face to face? Or is this one of those? And so I'm thinking, because sometimes I'm not very nice, I'm thinking that she, realized that he didn't have any money, because he talks about saving for a house. He's gonna buy a house, gonna have enough money to buy a house pretty soon. Perhaps when Salamanta realized that he really didn't have any dollars to perhaps send to her or help her out, she said, "Oh, well, I'm married," and she has had, like, very little to zero contact with J-dubs lately. So, I'm I'm wondering, he's never really, he talks about, but I think it's his fantasy about, intimacy with her. Excuse me, going into great detail stuff nobody wants to know. But I'm wondering if Salamanta is, if it's not like sort of a scam romance. I don't know. Somebody set me straight. Anybody who knows, you know, anything about that. Okay, so Raccoon Man says Grampy is grinning watching Bond end up homeless, right? Yeah, he's homeless. However, they've broken up. Vaughn and John have broken up. Um, for one thing, John was getting really, he was wearing on John, Vaughn was wearing on John's last nerve. He was, you could see, with the eye rolls and John would heave big sighs and just, be disgusted. And, then there was the incident that Vaughn had to take a shower because he smelled like sour, rotted garbage that had been in the sun. But anyway, there's been all this drama, but John kept putting up with it, putting up with it, putting up with it, and then finally they broke up because John's been like he's trying to save money. He gave up his apartment because he's dedicated to. He wants to get an apartment for Salamanta, really, or a house. Anyway, so he's been living in his. Anyway, he's been footing the bill for what he thought was all of Vaughn's meals, or most of them. So anyway, uh, uh, John was being really pissy with Vaughn. I mean, and he could say awful stuff to Vaughn, and Vaughn would just take it, or he would, yammer back to him. It was like they were an old married couple that were mean. Um, but anyway, John one day just 'cause he does Uber stuff with, that's why he has to keep his car clean, and wanted Vaughn to take a shower because he stinked. Um, yeah, so John took the day off, and so he was gonna surprise Vanya because they park separately at night and sleep in their own vehicles, so I guess John was gonna surprise Stinky, Vaughn, and take him for a meal, so he pulls up on Vaughn, and he's in the McDonald's or someplace enjoying croissants or something, enjoying a meal, and John goes, "Whoa, hey, wait, how'd you have money to sit and eat this big spread?" And, Vaughn was flustered, and he said some lady gave him a anyway, he had gift cards for fast food places, and apparently that's where a lot of his money that he said disappeared went. Yeah. So, anyway, John really ragged on him and said, "Boy, you took advantage of me, you lied, blah, blah, blah." So he went stomping out and, left Vaughn there. So then 48 hours pass, and, they haven't seen each other, and, so there have been more developments since John caught Vaughn with food. John told the story, and then, Vaughn did a rebuttal and said, and the stories are sort of, it's like the difference between the letter and the law and the spirit of the law. There's it sort of sounds like the same story, but, r- also radically different, stories. So it's interesting. So I think I'm gonna bear with me. Okay, so who's over in there? Okay, so I'm gonna play. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Gosh, Prairie Queen, where are you? Okay, so I'm going to do. Okay, share screen. I'm going to do share screen. So first, I'm going to play. Oh, here's another thing. Uh, uh, in Stinky's Vaughn's rebuttal, to J Dubs, he said that, he needs to be institutionalized. He needs to be put into a facility because John, the victim here, is suicidal. And I remember the incident that Vaughn's talking about. They were sitting in a fast food place, and, Vaughn was just, like, sitting there completely ignoring John. So John was just, like, kind of rambling on and on to the camera with no response from Vaughn, no response. He was playing some sort of a game on his phone, like a kid does. And so, he got so John started telling this extreme, circumstance where, he should just go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get some tubing and hook it up to the car, and then just end it all. Yeah, and then, e everybody could see Vaughn was not reacting, so no matter what John said, Vaughn had no reaction. But Vaughn happened to mention that particular incident where he was, like, stone-faced and non-reactive. He was, like, tucking it away, and he brought that up, saying that, John needs to be treated for mental illness because he was suicidal. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm going to okay, anybody who doesn't know about this, okay, so we wanna do peaceful. Okay, so this is John, and he's just gonna be talking. If you guys drop out, I'll understand, but I kinda wanna preserve this. "Yo, Grampy." Okay, so Okay, so I'm gonna do share. Now here's, John talking about Vaughn.
I wanted to surprise him with a day off. I took the day off. I was gonna take Vaughn out. Oh, you have family on Long Island? Oh, that's nice. Gishulajohn@gmail.com is my phone number. Reach me on my phone. Email gishulajohn@gmail or my phone number 929-376-9794. 929-379-9794. Shoot me a message when you're out on Long Island. John, how did you end up in EDP watch? I don't know what EDP watch is. We all thought he was hiding money, so I came in and I basically confronted him. I said, "How did you eat? How did you buy food today?" Oh, I have. Oh, he whipped out his wallet. He's like, "I got all this." He went. Well, he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. Oh, he was basically like. He's basically like this. He's sitting on the table eating. And he's like, I don't. Oh, I don't know. I said, and I was pushing him. How did you fucking get food? How the fuck did you pay? How the fuck did you pay? How the fuck did you get money? And he basically capitulated. He told me, someone's calling me. Who is this? What's her name? Who's calling me? Where are they calling me from? What's that? They're calling me from where? Oh, they're calling me from. Is this her?
Oh, sorry, guys, I didn't know I forgot it was, boring, like but, bear with me. Maybe I should speed it up. Okay, I'm gonna speed it up a touch. Yeah, okay. Bear with me.
Oh, okay. It's a prank call. Okay, I thought it was baby girl. I would have picked up if it was baby girl. It's probably a troll. Let me know. Let me know if you call Allison. Allison's a troll. Maybe Vaughn secretly has disability benefits or welfare. That's true. I never really. Well, he showed his wallet. And he had a bunch of cards in there, a whole bunch of different cards that I ripped it out. I ripped out the fucking cards, and he has all different types of fucking money that he had. I didn't know. I said, "You fucking piece of shit," and I walked out.
So so that's how it went. Um, finally, it had to be like it had to hit him like a ton of bricks, a building had to fall on John for him to go, "Whoa." He ah, there's this lack of awareness in John, um, but he was absolutely, he there was no denying, you know, and John, you have believed every tall tale that Vaughn has told you about his covert military operations, his ranks in various and assorted military organizations, his jobs, his education. You believed all of that. You believed all of that, John. For God, I just can't. Okay, okay, been on for a half hour. Prairie Queen isn't here. Damn. Okay, so I'm gonna take that off the screen. So I'm gonna play Vaughn's version of what went on, and I do believe this clip comes from another channel. Gosh, there's so many channels covering this, and boy, everybody's just wonderful with their clipping and capturing this because, this is an epic story, you guys. Von Helton is homeless, and now he is fleeing for his life because we trolls told John he should unalive Vaughn. So, God, you guys, is epic. Grampy, Grampy Lobster, here's to you, dude. Um, okay, so now I'm going to do, what is it, share screen. I'm going to share screen. Okay, so here is Von Helton. And forgive if I don't, I can't remember. This might be Von Helton's own channel, but if this belongs to somebody else, I watch so many. I will be sure to post it in the comment section down below. Okay, here we go.
The laundromat, and I repeated again that there's no way I can know what he's doing when he chirped at me that, oh well.
Oh, this is another incident of John just being dismayed that he's had to do everything, including washing Vaughn's clothing. And Vaughn, with his 190-point IQ, can't figure out how to use the washing machine and refused to. And so he just sat there on it, and it just aggravated John to no end. But did he go punch him in the throat? No, he just did his laundry. So here's Vaughn's version of it.
You knew where I was, or something to that effect. And I said, John, there's no way I can know where you're at any given time.
Oh no, this isn't the laundromat incident. This is okay. I recant everything I just said. Well, no, I'll put everything I just said on hold. This is about something else. One of their moments of bickering.
And that was when he physically assaulted me. He punched me in the shoulder, became very irate, very aggressive. Didn't know if he was going to hit me a second time or not, but I got out of the car and made sure that he didn't. And then that I let that slide. I should have called the police right then, but I was a dumbass and I didn't do it. So I let it slide. And so then I go and the time passes. I go and I'm at McDonald's, and I get some random woman comes up.
Okay, this explains why Vaughn he's sitting there with this McDonald's spread when John walks in. Some benevolent fairy lady bestowed an $11 McDonald's gift card on Vaughn when he walked in. Yeah, that's what happened.
She comes up with a gift card, and she says, "Here, have this gift card." And I said, "Oh, thank you."
Vaughn never says thank you. Lie.
I think she says, "Oh, thank you," and it was $11 gift card to get food at McDonald's. And I said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that." All right, so I get the card and I'm holding on to it, and then we move to another location, and so I go into the McDonald's at that location, and it was early morning, and I used my gift card to buy me some breakfast. And John comes in, sees that I'm eating breakfast, and absolutely flies off the handle, screaming even, "Where did you get that money? Where did you get money for food? I didn't know you had money." And I said, "Well, a good Samaritan gave me a gift card at McDonald's to eat on." "I don't believe that. Take your card up here and show me." I said, "Look, John, there's cards right there. You get the card, you activate it, and you can get food." "Oh, no, that can't be right." And so I had to take the card that does work, and because the other cards don't work, you got to activate them. But I took the card that was given to me by this lady, and I had to take it up there and waste what little bit of money was left on it to show John that it did work. But that didn't appease him even then. Even then he started, and that just made him angrier. He got even more angry. And so I went back, and I didn't know he was getting more angry, by the way. So I went back, sit down, and started eating my food again. And he comes back to where I'm sitting and literally gets angry with me and grabs me by the throat.
Hold on. What do they say? Pop that cat, pop a cap, pop the cat. I don't know what those guys say. I don't even know what that means. Grabs him by the throat in public at a McDonald's. John grabs Vaughn by the right.
And says, I ought to kill you for hiding money from me. You're hiding money from me. And he kept repeating it over and over. You're hiding money from me. Well, gee, I know where you got that from, John. You got that from the trolls. Because the trolls were the one that gave you that.
Trolls? How could you do that, trolls? How could you drive John to grab Vaughn by the throat and scream at him in public in a McDonald's? Nobody saw this?
Idea. That's where they got it from. That's where you got that from. But anyways, so needless to say, this is twice now he's physically assaulted me. And he is I'm going to get a restraining order. He's not to come anywhere near me. And of course, if he does, he goes to jail. And now I could go right now, file a report, throw his ass in jail, but I'm not going to do it because he doesn't need jail. What he needs to be in a facility that will give him good care.
Okay, Vaughn is saying this because John just recently was sitting by himself and telling we who were watching that, gosh, there's something bad wrong with Vaughn. He's unteachable. He's like a child. He can't do anything. Besides, his physical and mental stuff, he has the essential tremor in his hands. And he says he's absolutely useless and should be, and audience members were saying, geez, drop Vaughn off at a care home or so. Anyway, so yeah, John's, broadcast his realization live that there's something bad wrong with Vaughn. So Vaughn's saying this about John.
And straighten out his life. Now, I am led to believe that you don't always stay there permanently. If you have a temporary condition and they can get it straightened out, you're free to go after they get it squared away. All right.
Yeah, John's temporary condition was busting Vaughn in a big lie. Temporary condition. Okay, you stop saying that about Vaughn and we'll let you go, John. That's how it works.
So he doesn't necessarily have to be there permanently, but I think he needs to be in a facility where he can get good care, where they can get him ironed out, figure out what his problems is, and get him taken care of. Because I can state categorically that there's been numerous times when he has said, when he talked about committing suicide, when he's
Okay, remember what I had said a few minutes ago? John was sitting there saying, maybe I should get, some tubing and hook it up to my exhaust. And then, everybody was watching Vaughn, not reacting. So John kept going on and on about it. And so Vaughn was listening.
talked about harming others and doing this and doing that. That's not normal. Okay, that's abnormal behavior. Something is wrong, and it sure as fuck ain't me. So he needs care. He needs to be in a facility where he can get good care. But now, John needs to understand if he comes around me, he's going to go to jail because I'm getting a restraining order. I don't have a choice. Now, in addition to that, I am under advisement to probably leave the state anyway. And so I'm thinking seriously about that as well. And just go into parts unknown. I don't know if I'll actually go back to my home state of Ohio or not. I may just put down stakes in someplace else. I don't know yet. But this is insanity. And the trolls act this shit on. The trolls are the ones that started this and got him all upset, knowing that he's not stable.
Vaughn is notorious, famous, infamous for never, ever in his life taking responsibility for anything that has happened to him. Not ever. I'm wondering now that's why his mom, rest her soul, put up with him and let him live on the property all her life. She knew that Vaughn was deficient and she had to give him a place to be because he couldn't take care of himself. Ever, ever. Can you imagine? Oh, poor Gladys. Alice. Yeah. I still want to talk to some people about having a Von Fest, an Alice Fest on the beautiful shores of Lake Alice, a big, 3-day barbecue and hang out, camp out. We'll sing kumbaya around the campfire. Yeah. To be followed by the draining of Lake Alice. I don't know. Oh, and okay, so yes. So uh oh geez. That is Mrs. Jetson. And I'm not going to answer it because no, she forgets that I do this on Sunday, so I'm not going. I'm so sorry. It's going to stop in a second, I promise. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jetson. If you would tune in, you would know what I'm doing. I'm busy. Geez, that took a long time. She used to hang up and then call right back. Remember those days? So I forgot where I was. Okay, to continue.
Folks, when somebody's threatening suicide, they're not stable. But you trolls kept aggravating and aggravating and aggravating him, knowing that he's said numerous times about committing suicide.
No, Vaughn, it was that one time that I'm aware of that John and he, yeah.
Somebody that talks about suicide ain't stable. You don't sit there and mess with somebody that ain't stable, trolls. Okay, you messed his brain up even worse. So now he's flying off the handle. I heard he's threatening to bust my car windows and steal my battery and kill me and everything else. Well,
What? What? You liar, rabble rouser, bust your windows and Jesus criminy.
see, that's you trolls that did that.
What you said, remember, it was Thursday, the day he blew up at you, right?
Okay, this was a panel. Okay, thank you, Nats and the pizza. You are like my go-to person to get these clips of On and John and stuff. Thank you. So anyway, John or Vaughn was on a panel, and then there were these people on there with him, truly trolling the heck out of Vaughn, encouraging him to take action against John, telling, just slathering him up one side and down the other, encouraging him to you're in the right, Vaughn. You need to take action. Go, go, go. Call the police. Yeah, make an anonymous call to the police. Have John. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, with all the talk of the trolls and stuff, Vaughn has like the good trolls, the big ass, badass trolls trolling him. So you guys go over and give Nats and the Pizza a watch. Has some great stuff. I jack their stream all the time. Thank you, Nats and the Pizza, for not being mad at me. Thank you from the littlest channel on the YouTubes. Okay, so That's it. That's all I got. I don't want to re-listen to these guys, egging Vaughn on. Uh, go over there. Okay. Um, you can see there's Nats and the Pizzas channel there. Go watch if you want to see these people just egging Vaughn on like a crazy thing. Yeah, and he's eating it up. Um, phew. So I don't know what John's doing today. I hope he comes on live. I'll be there. I'll be there watching. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out. Oh boy, I got so wrapped up in that. Okay, so I'm going over here to see who was. Oh gosh, look, I've missed all this stuff in the chat. Okay, Raccoon Man 60. Did I say hi to you, sweetheart? Hi. Hi, Kristen Frost Laser Beams. Um, good to see you. John is discount George Costanza, says Kristen. Hi, hi, Kristen Frost Laser Beams. Good to see you. It's been a while. Um, okay, Kristen says, don't think for a minute J Dubs isn't helping Vaughn except for something that helps him. Oh, huh. Yeah, and J Dubs doesn't realize that once Vaughn is completely out of his life and he won't have an audience. I never gave a shit about J Dubs. Just watching him and Vaughn interact on Grampy's stream or somebody else's nobody's gonna give a shit. So he's in his glory days right now. His 10 minutes of YouTube fame. Once his story with Vaughn peters out, that's the end. Vaughn's gonna peter out. The guy who talks about his Peter a lot. Yeah, okay. When you help Vaughn in ways other than what he wants, you will cause a bunch of annoying stupidity, right, Kristen? Yeah. Okay, yeah, Kristen, Mouse, Andrea, his wife, wasn't allowed to get help, but John needs it, right? Yeah. Yeah, John aside, thank you for telling me my phone was ringing. I gotta call her back pretty soon. Um, okay, so I'm scrolling down. Everybody, yeah, okay, yeah, everybody. Okay, so thank you for showing up, you guys. Thanks for being here. Just I had to do this because, Grampy Lobster, we miss the hell out of you. Uh, crusty old crustacean. Yeah, miss you, dude. This was for you, pal. So yeah, lobster love. I'm gonna put a lobster in the chat. I'm gonna put a lobster in the chat. Here's my lobster, LOB. There it is. There's my lobster in the chat. That's for you, Grampy. We love you. Okay, again, I love every damn one of you. Thank you for showing up. I'm gonna go check on Prairie Queen and see. Okay, so I don't know what that is over in there, Mrs. Mudduck. That's a link, and it's okay. Um, yeah, okay, Raccoon Man, do you want a wrench? As long as I'm here. Okay, there's your standard moderator wrench, Swamp B63. No, Raccoon Man 60, because Swampy is already yeah, everybody. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so everybody. Did I give you a wrench? Yeah. Okay, so you're a moderator, Raccoon Man 60. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to go check on Prairie Queen and see what's up with her. I'm going to call Mrs. Jetson back, and I will probably be hitting the Devil's Lettuce here pretty soon. Um, and Dahlia, if you're watching, I know you called a few minutes before I went live, but I was in the YouTube headspace, and so I'll call you back, Dahlia. I'm sorry I didn't pick up. Okay, so God, there's 2 phone calls I owe. I hate this pressure. Okay, you guys, I love you, love you, love you. Thanks again for being here. I'm gonna close this out. Okay, I gotta go to StreamYard. I'm not gonna play Grampy out. I'm just gonna end this. Anyway, thanks for showing up for this tribute to Grampy. Grampy was right. John J. Dubs, Grampy, and you blocked me for bringing Grampy's Lobster to your chat. And you said anybody who mentions Grampy Lobster gets blocked. Dude. Yeah, Grampy ragged on you, but he was right. J Dubs. Jerk. Okay, I love you guys.